fire. The rain is Tess, the fire's Joe, and they call the winds Mariah. Mariah blows the stars around and sets the clouds a-flying. Mariah makes the mountains sound like folks up there were dying.
Welcome back, viewers. It's James Kalm, your half-assed reporter, and we are back in Chelsea. Special shout out to our worldwide art crew in Perth, Australia, far north Queensland, Paris, and Kentucky. We're gonna run in here too. Metro Pictures. Try to get some views of a show by André Butzer. Stay tuned. Oh, hey, there's Andre. Well, I popped in for a show about 2 weeks ago, a pop-up show in the Lower East Side, and I think Andre was one of the featured artists in that show. And they told me that he was going to be having another show here at Metro Pictures, so when I saw that it was opening tonight, I made a point of jumping on my bike, coming in and seeing the show. This piece is Untitled 2019. Oil and acrylic on canvas. I've been keeping an eye on Andre's work now for probably about 10 or 12 years, I think. And one of the reasons that I enjoy or appreciate his work is that I think he's one of the young European artists that's playing with a lot of interesting ideas, taking some risks. This is Untitled, acrylic on canvas. This is 83 by 107 inches. The other thing is that I'm always surprised by what the latest developments are. You know, I'm able to keep a little closer eye on some of my painting cohorts here in New York. Andre's in Germany. I'm not sure whether he's around Cologne or Berlin, but I only get a chance to see the work when he has a show like this. Also, I'm kind of impressed with his, what would I call it? There's almost a strategy of playing with various historical precedences, but not in a too serious way. A lot of this is kind of, satire or pastiche. kinds of paintings that I first bumped into as kind of big, goofy figure pieces. Although he's thinned out his facture quite a bit, one of the things that initially attracted me to the work was his kind of heavy brushwork, lots of paint, thick goobs of oil paint. Untitled. So I was just talking a little bit about some of his riffing, and well, I'm looking at this and I'm getting kind of a little echo of European formalism. Billy Baumeister, there are a couple of painters like that, and also maybe some of the late Hans Hofmann, although this is, as I said, this is not as earnest. This is not as dramatically profound. There's a kind of lightness and a playfulness with this. I think also just the freeness and looseness of the paint handling, and then we've also got our spray paint in there, which recalls graffiti and street art in a certain way. These scribbles like this always make me think of Cy Twombly. Untitled, 107 by 83. So that's something like 9 by 7 feet. Well, I think I came in for Andre's last show and it was all basically black paintings with a single white line in there, and I was thinking that in that case it was kind of a satirical rehash or a critique of some of the minimalism, zombie formalism that had been popping up in the art scene, I guess starting about 2012, 2013. And I would say that I think that one of the things that Andre is playing with in this latest body of work is the color. I think another thing that is notable is that, well, Andre has been showing with Metro Pictures now probably for at least 4 or 5 of his last shows. And the reason that I point that out is that Metro Pictures was basically ground zero for the pictures generation, and there was a whole cadre critics, publications, artists that were all kind of making a name by being very, very militantly anti-painting. And Metro Pictures still shows a lot of the Pictures generation. Cindy Sherman, Robert Longo, I think, was in here last month. Maybe I'll splice a little bit of his show in. Jack Goldstein. So it's interesting. It's interesting that now they're showing German painting. Let's see if we can get some views of this piece. I think this is one of the more interesting pieces, untitled. '83 by 107. Okay. Smile. Yeah, there is a kind of unself-conscious facility with a lot of this. And I would say that, you know, I know some people that just kind of work things to death and overwork, and at some point maybe that kind of takes on its own character and becomes, rather than suffocating, more pleasant, more freeing. Whereas I think André has a great ability to stay light, to play with interesting things, and then move on. So this is fun. I think what André's done is he's basically got two series of works. He's got the kind of goofy geometrical abstraction, and then he's got his more, at least for him, signature paintings of the wacky little cartoon figures with the big eyes. Untitled. 2019, acrylic on canvas. 83 by 107. And I was saying that he's kind of he's flattened out his facture, but I think one of the benefits of working like that, if you're dealing with a lot of color, especially kind of translucent or transparent color, is that it allows for a different kind of reading of the color. And yeah, these dry surfaces reflect light in a different way than something that was textured and clotted with a lot of pigment. We'll complete our little rough cut run through looking at this piece. Also untitled, 2019. was talking about Andre's kind of his strategy of playing off art historical precedences and kind of, well, like a jazz musician taking a little riff of a tune here, a little riff there, putting them together. And I think I would kind of consider this a type of conceptual painting. But I think if you're not familiar with the protocols and the codes and the nuances of the history, a lot of this might be lost to you. Hi, we snagged André Butzer. Congratulations on the show. Looks fantastic. I was commenting on how the color seems to be like a real concern for you in this latest show. And then I heard that you'd been in the south of France and are a big fan of Matisse. You want to talk a little bit maybe about some of the new color?
Yeah, that's, I moved a year ago to California.
Really?
And before I moved, I went to Nice in southern France to say goodbye to Matisse. Because it wasn't easy for me to leave the European continent.
Sure.
So I went there where I thought the last one who dealt with color was living. So I went to the addresses he lived.
Sure.
And did my morning running there at the beach. And I said goodbye to Matisse before I left to California, which is another version of South France.
Yes, it is.
And it is the place now that brings me color in a way maybe that I was always having it, but it wasn't as clear as that.
You know, if I was to make a comment on that and comparing the South France to California, there is a lot of color in California, except that beyond Matisse, it's almost like Walt Disney color as well. So you've got that extra bonus in there. Anyway, Andre, I just wanted to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for the show. What part of California? You're living in LA? Is that it now? Or?
Yes, but it's outside a little bit.
Okay, good for you. Up in the hills?
Yeah, pretty high.
Okay, all right. Thanks. André Butzer, congratulations.
Thank you.
James Kalm reporting on André Butzer here at Metro Pictures. Oh, things are thinning out. You can like this, share, subscribe, recommend it to your friends, link it up to all your stuff. And you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below. And as always, we just ask you to say thank you, Kate, because none of this would be possible without her. So, thank you, Kate.
They call the wind Mariah.
Wow, that was great. Thank you.
Thanks for filming.
Thank you. Well, what's your name?
I'm Kevin L.J.